For latest updates and short audio clips, follow us on Instagram, Reading the Author.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast Reading the Author, a unique show where we read authors' mind and not their book. Meanwhile, I truly believe and pray that you and your families are completely safe and healthy as well. Today we have Namrata Gupta ma'am with us, the author of One Wedding, Three Mothers, The Full Circle, A Silent Promise, Together We Were Whole, and Lost Love, Late Love. Thank you so much ma'am for coming on our show. We are highly grateful कि आप हमारे शो पर आए.
Thank you, Gaurav.
So, ma'am, my first question to you is कि you have written like 5 books, so there must be some amazing journey behind that. So, can you please share with us like your journey, your childhood, from where you belong, and what you do, and all those things?
Okay. So let me begin by saying that being an author is a dream come true for me, and it's an incredible feeling to hold my own books in my hands. And when people recognize me as an author, the feeling is out of the world. So I've always found my comfort and escape in literature. I started writing poems at the age of 10. So my poems were published in national newspapers like Punjab Kesari when I was 10. And Punjab Kesari is essentially a Hindi newspaper. So I used to write both in Hindi and English. So always used to be in the editorial team in school and college. When I was doing my graduation from Hansraj, I had a short write-up published in Hindustan Times, and from that I wrote my first book, A Silent Promise, 2015, while I was pursuing my graduation from Hansraj. So it has been going great since the release of my first book. The book was launched by Mr. Petko Doikov, the ambassador of Bulgaria to India, and I was also invited for a book reading session at Gurgaon International Film and Literature Festival, where the book was released by Mr. Sudhir Mishra. Then again, The Full Circle, my second book, came out in 2018. Together We Were Whole came out in 2020. And Together We Were Whole was ranked number 1 in romantic suspense and number 2 in crime thriller and mystery on Amazon, which was like hitting a benchmark for me.
Definitely.
In 2021, Lost Love, Late Love has just been released in February, and within 10 days of release, it was ranked number 3 in romance on Amazon. So now people around me acknowledge my efforts. They're impressed by how far I've come till now. The readers reach out to me regarding my books, and I get really overwhelmed by reading their responses to my stories. But I believe that I still have miles to go. There are still a lot of stories waiting to be told.
Okay. So, ma'am, as you just said that your book, your latest book, Lost Love and Late Love, is released in February. So, can you please give us some insights like what a reader can expect from a book who haven't read it yet?
So, Lost Love, Late Love talks about toxic relationships, their psychological impacts, and also has the concept of soulmates within this narrative. So, it's a book, it's a guide to navigating toxic relationships and exploring soulmate relationships in depth. So, unlike other books which give out the message of what you should do, Lost Love, Late Love tells you what not to do. It explores the all-consuming disastrous side of love. So, the story begins when Kashika takes her first step into a hard corporate life while being in an emotionally abusive relationship with Vivan, which has taken a heavy toll on her lifestyle, but she's unable to let go. But as the circumstances turn sour with physical abuse making her way into their relationship, she meets Vidit, who compels her to walk away and start a new life. So Vidit and Kashika start finding solace in each other, which causes problems for both of them, as Vidit is betrothed to somebody else. Kashika feels Vidit is her soulmate, but she cannot do anything about it. The entire situation becomes more complicated when Vivan tries to reconnect with Kashika and rekindle their relationship. So that's the gist of the book. So the readers are made a witness to 2 relationship stories in one single piece. Like there's a relationship between Kashika and Vivan, which tells us what love is not. And then there's a relationship between Kashika and Vidit, which gives out the vibe of true love. So the book somewhere examines how love can at once liberate yet stifle you through Kashika's experiences in both the relationships.
Okay. So, ma'am, like from the words which you have shared about your book, it seems to be really interesting. So, what motivates you to write on this topic? Like, is there like in writing industry, most of the people just just say that this is my true story or something, the real incidents, and so is there anything related to that?
It's not real, but a lot of us knowingly and unknowingly become a part of toxic relationships, which might
yeah,
be emotionally abusive or physically abusive.
definitely.
But we are not able to break free due to a variety of reasons. Maybe we are too used to the other person and lack the strength to start life afresh without them, or we are too dependent on them, maybe financially. So we drag things and let them be that way. Or sometimes we might genuinely miss the signs and get too manipulated to understand that the relationship is actually toxic.
Yeah, true.
Such relationships are all around us, and we might not recognize them, or we might recognize them and yet do nothing about it. So this idea compelled me to write Lost Love, Late Love, so that people know what is and what is not acceptable in love and where they should draw boundaries. The tropes of guilt tripping, threatening, throwing love crumbs, gaslighting, which are usually used in toxic relationships, are analyzed and portrayed in the novel through Kashika's experiences. So I expect the book to urge the readers to trace such patterns of abuse within their own relationships, provide answer to the internal dialogues they might be engaging in themselves, and make them aware of the short and long-term psychological impacts of such relationships.
Definitely, ma'am. Because most of the time we can see that as of now the youths are completely inclined towards all those things. So that will be really kind of a good help for everyone out there.
Yeah.
So, like, ma'am, can we expect more such books from you, or you want to experiment a little bit and try some other genre as well as of now?
So I keep experimenting with the books that I write. So for example, if you take the case of A Silent Promise, it was about breaking social conventions.
Okay.
Then there was the idea of a traveler finding a home in a person in the full circle. Together We Were Whole is a romance thriller with corporate romance and all. This book talks about toxic relationships. So somewhere in the romance or romance thriller genre only, but I would keep experimenting with different themes.
Okay. So it's not like that you want to create a certain image of yours in the mind of readers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And but ma'am, when it comes to like a personal branding, so how do you want that if a certain reader will just see your name after 5 years, like, okay, this is the book of Namrata Gupta, and then what kind of impact you want to create on the reader's mind? Like, what they must be thinking, like, if this is the author, then that will be the kind of book she must have written. Is there any plans regarding that, like related to some personal branding?
Yeah, so I would want readers to see me as a person who writes by breaking social conventions, or writes books about problems which they are facing and how the book might help them. So, well, more than a brand, I would like to see myself as somebody who's able to connect with readers. So, I've always wanted to connect well with those who read my book. So, regarding my first book, A Silent Promise, I still get messages about that. And it was released way back in 2015. And people tell me how that book has actually helped them. So I want to see myself, I would like to see myself as a person who helps the readers. I'm grateful for the love that I've received till now. In fact, I'm grateful to even touch a single person's life and getting the opportunity of making a positive impact on it. But it's a long journey.
Definitely, ma'am, because so basically the whole idea is of finding people, like, if it's the Namrata Gupta's book, then it must be relatable to our life, right? Somewhere like that. Okay, so do you have any vision, like, ma'am, after 5 years, where you want to see yourself, or what milestones you want to achieve, any particular targets you have set for yourself? So can you please share that with us?
Everybody wants to be a best-selling author. So I want to see myself as a best-selling author, that's first. But as far as targets are concerned, I have decided to release one book every year and market it well.
Okay. So, like in upcoming 5 years, we can expect 5 books from you, right? Okay. And my next question too is like, as we all can see that as the last lockdown has been went, so there were many authors, like many emerging authors. So, do you feel like a kind of competition because the number of authors are getting increased day by day? So, what's your take on that?
Well, competition is there everywhere, and that's a part of life. I do feel competitive at times, but at other times, I'm just in my comfort zone, taking small steps at a time. Yes, there's competition, and yes, there are a lot of emerging authors, and that's good because the reading industry would also have something to look forward to in the long run that way. I would also expect the reading industry to move like that also. So the number of readers should also increase as the number of writers is also increasing.
Yeah, but ma'am, there's a what I personally feel is like there are very less number of readers nowadays when it comes to buying a novel and reading it. I think you must agree with me. You will be agreeing with me. There will be like a certain kind of people still there who haven't bought any novel, who haven't read any novel yet, and moreover, like people are not even trying to read all those things. So, what do you feel about that? Right?
So I think this problem, the reading, people do not read much. That's a problem, and in today's day when there's Netflix,
yeah, definitely,
people are just focusing on those sources of entertainment. But if books connect well with the audience, if they have something very interesting to look forward to in a book, and if they find solution to their own problems in books, then we can perhaps change the industry and the mindset, and probably people would start reading books more.
But you feel also the same, like there's a kind of gap which is increasing day by day between the readers and the authors. What do you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And so my next question too is like, do you have any schedule for writing, or it's like any random time whenever you thought process, or whenever the thoughts come, you just start writing down?
Yeah, it's like that only. So there's no fixed schedule. I write whenever I feel like writing because I believe that creativity cannot be forced.
Definitely, ma'am. That's what I also feel.
Yeah. So for me, little breaks are important to stimulate creativity. So if I have a plot in mind, I might end up writing every day for a month. Then on the other months, I might not write at all. So it's kind of like that.
Okay. And ma'am, do you prefer it as a hobby or as a full-time job?
I prefer it as a hobby only because I do not want to force it by making it a full-time job.
And what's your suggestion for the people who are just I have been with many people, like there are authors who gradually wants to they want to leave all those things which they are doing as of now, in terms of job, their business, and want to become a full-time author. So what's your suggestion for them?
So my suggestion would be that at any point in time you should not give up on your dreams. So when you are writing a book and when you are publishing it, there might be certain times in your journey when you feel really disheartened, like nothing's going my way, kuch chal nahi raha yaar. ऐसी feelings आती हैं, but then do not give up on your dreams. Keep hustling and always believe in your work. If you will, others will too.
Definitely. But just living completely and just relying on this, I don't feel that's which can be someone like you cannot be like financially feel independent when it comes to writing. What do you feel?
Yeah, so writing is not a good source of income, especially when you are just starting out. So if you want to earn your living, there has to be an alternate source of income. You have to be in a profession or do something else apart from writing also.
And according to you, ma'am, I just skip one question. Like, according to you, what are the measures which one can take to, just make more readers to read the book? Like, what are the things which we can do, or as an author, or as a, in the terms of promotion, what we can do to make, readers go inclined towards the books? You have any idea?
So like I said, if the books connect well with the readers, if the readers find the books relatable, or if they find the solution to their own life problems in the book, and if the book is written well, it's a good source of entertainment, then eventually readers will emerge.
And now coming to your personal life, ma'am, can you share with us, like, what was the happiest moment of your life, and what was the, just sad moment, or a moment which you don't want to, talk about, or anything like that, and how did you emerge from that?
Okay, so the happiest moment in my life was related to books only. So
every author says that, yeah.
It was when Srishti Publishers agreed to publish my first book.
Okay.
Because before that, the first publisher I sent out my first book to, he did not approve of the manuscript. So somewhere I had the feeling that nobody would ever publish me. Everything came crashing. So that period of waiting and reaching out to publishers after the first refusal, it was difficult to deal with. I was always scared to read a mail from a publisher which had that response. This moment would be when Srishti Publishers agreed to publish my first book.
Okay, and any sad moment which you want to share?
There's no sad moment as such. We all go so we all go along with difficult times.
Okay, so how you just overcome with your difficult times? Like, if you can share with us, that will be really like a help for many people who are listening to this.
So just keep believing in yourself. If you keep believing in yourself, one day you'll eventually strive. But one day you'll eventually reach success.
Okay. And my next question to you is, like, do you feel stressed by releasing of a book? And what's your mental state at that time, like when the book is being released? Do you set any milestones for yourself, like this book has to perform like this and all those things?
So I want every book to do well, but it's not at a time of release specifically that I'm stressed. But yes, when I'm waiting for a feedback from someone, then I get anxious at times, thinking if they like the book or not, or if they're lying to me that they like the book, but really they did not like the book. So such thoughts do come, but it's more of a happy time. It's a type of enjoyment. I do not feel stressed at the time of release.
Okay. And what's your current mental state, ma'am? Like, what are the things which you want to focus on as of now, as a writer and as a, in your personal life as well?
So currently I'm not overburdening myself. I am taking small steps and I'm a bit relaxed about things. So the goals that I have set for myself, say for the next 1 year, is to get in shape.
Okay.
Write 2 books at least.
Okay.
Connect well with my readers.
Okay.
To like sessions on social media.
Okay. So these are the current things which you want to focus upon.
Yeah.
Okay. And my last question to you of this podcast is, what are your suggestions, or what's the advices which you would like to give to the upcoming authors, the debut authors, like, and one more piece of advice for all those people who are listening to this podcast, irrespective of the they are writers, they are painters, or anything like that?
I would say that never leave your passion behind. So in the daily humdrum of life, we are forced to leave behind our passions and pursue maybe a monotonous life, but that would eventually catch up with your mental happiness, the level of satisfaction that you achieve in your life. So don't ever give up on your passion or your dreams. Always believe in yourself, believe in your work, because otherwise, if I had not decided to be an author, if I would have been a regular person working in a corporate job and left my writing, somewhere I would have been disappointed in life and I would have regretted it. So do not let regret catch up with you. Always believe in your passion.
Okay. And any advices for the budding authors?
Yeah, strive hard. Your book is your dream. The book is a dream is you're holding in your hands. So do everything possible to make it work.
Okay, so that's all for today, guys. I hope you must have enjoyed the episode, and if you do, then do follow our podcast Reading the Author, available on all the leading podcast platforms. And don't forget to buy the book. Just go on Amazon and search Namrata Gupta. You will see all the 5 books of ma'am, and just go buy and read. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming on our show. It was truly an amazing experience to have you on the show today.
Thank you for making me a part of your show.
Thank you so much, ma'am.